Hello everyone, this is Sanjay and welcome back to my channel. In this tutorial, I'll show you whenever I update my code, how you need to update your code. Okay, so you need to download my existing code and you need to delete your old code and replace it. So I want to show you that process. So before you start, first let me go to my downloads folder and see if I have some old code. So I see there is one zip file which is the old one, so I'll delete it. Okay. And what I'll do is I'll go to my D drive where I have my existing code. So here is also I have my existing code here. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just copy the environment file so that I don't want to create this again, and I'll paste in the D drive. I keep a backup. I'm This means I'm just keeping a backup of my environment file. Now I'll go ahead and I can delete this. Also, before deleting, you can do one more thing. If you have some important file, for example, this logs or this txt, or inside the src, if you have some additional strategy file that you don't want to delete, you can take a backup of them somewhere else. Okay, for example, in my case, I saved into my d drive.env, but you can keep you can create a separate folder, like I create a new folder called backups. So I'll put this into backup file, and if I have something else, for example this logs data, I want to retain it, so I'll copy that and keep it in my backups. So now I have backup of my log files as well as my .environment file. Others file are not required. We can when we download the new code, automatically those things will come. Apart from that, if you want to keep your src details, anything, for example the strategy I want to copy, and I want to keep a backup, so I'll go there and I put it in the backup. So whenever I need, I can put into my code. Now what I'll do is I will delete this folder. Let me delete it. So deleted the folder. Now I'll download the fresh file. So I'll go to my repo. Link you already have in the description. Take it from there. Now let me refresh this page. So now I'll download the new code. So it has been downloaded to my downloads folder. What I'll do is I'll double click it. Now I'll copy this, go to D drive and paste it here. Okay. So next thing is I need my .env file here. So what I'll do is from my backups, I'll copy my log file and I copy my env file. Then I'll go to here and paste it. If it asks to replace your files, I'll say yes, I want to replace. Okay, because if those files are not here, then you might have some issue. So I'll just replace this. Okay, so now make sure your .env are properly set up. Okay, if it is not properly set up, you need to set it up properly. So I'll just pause this video and set up my .env correctly, because it is not currently set up properly. Okay, I have opened my PyCharm, and what I want to do is I want to set up my .env. But before that, for some users, if you don't have proper virtual environment and everything, you want to set it up. So what you can do is you can just simply close this file. This is the simplest way. Close this project. Okay, it will ask for a new project. So click on new project. Just give any name. For example, I'm giving a name like Fires API. Then here I select new environment. Okay, and this is the location. This is the base interpreter and all. Or else I can do one thing. Instead of this, I can directly go to my D drive. So it will create. It will take this. Okay, so this is my new environment or new project. I'll select new environment using virtual environment. Okay, this I'll uncheck. Create a main.py welcome script. This is not required, so you uncheck this if you're selecting an existing project and click on create. So now what we'll do is we'll create your um, environment variable. So you see this v and v, so it is creating your virtual environment. Okay, so let me go to my requirements.txt file. So here it says my packages are not installed. So what I can do is, if this is popping you for you, it is popping up, so you can click here install requirements. If this comes, click on install. And if you don't want to install in this way, you can go to terminal and you can enter command like python space -r requirement.txt. Sorry, python. I'll show you. You have to go here and you have to python. Sorry, you have to do pip install -r requirement.txt. So this, using this also you can install all those requirements into your virtual environment. And if you don't want to use the CLI version, you just open this requirements.txt file. One window might pop up. So you just click install requirements, it will install. And if that pop is not showing for you, then you need to install in this way. So once this is installed, you are good to using Docker. If you don't install this VNP and all, also it will work Docker perfectly, because Docker, all those libraries that is required is already installed. So I'm not using this. What I'll do is I'll just set up my .env properly, okay, before I start Docker. So let me pause this video and I will set my environment variables properly. Okay, so I have set up my .env properly. Now few items I want to show you. So if you go to settings, if you go to settings.yaml, so here now you don't see year and few other things that were there earlier, because I made some changes to the code. So those things it will automatically calculate for you. So what you need to check is this holidays date should be correct. Instruments that you want to add. If you want to add a new instrument, how to do that is hit enter. It will give a minus or hyphen, then give a space and give the instrument name. For example, NSE. If you want to give bank nifty, so you just write whatever you want. And if you don't want, either you can delete it, and if you don't want to delete, you can just give a hash at the beginning and it will comment it out. So it is perfectly fine. It will not break anything. So let it be here. Then expires. So I have updated code in such a way that for this index, if you give a proper index and you give the expiry, for example, I have given THU, means Thursday is the expiry for NSE Nifty. WT Wednesday is expiry for NSE Bank Nifty. So in case in future, if they change it to some other day, so you can just put that 3 letters. For example, if they change it to Thursday again, so you can just mention THU. So it will update your code automatically. Okay. So let me go back to Wednesday now. And one more item I removed is the redirect URL. So this is now moved to your env file. So you have to update only env file with your redirect URL. Okay, so this is okay. I'll close this. So all things are done properly. Now I'll open my Docker. So this is my Docker container, this existing container. So we no need to do any changes to the images, okay? Because image, you don't need to do any changes. Container also, it will work the same container. If you're having some issue with the container or you have not configured properly, then you can delete it. Okay. So I don't need to do any changes. So I'm just hitting on start. Now my Docker is started. I can go to view details. So I can see the list and everything. So here is a complete list showing. So all these things are calculated automatically. Now if you want to run any strategy file, you go to terminal and then run python space src hyphen your strategy file name. For example, I have one strategy file called fire strategy1.py. So I'll run it, hit enter. So now my strategy file is running. Now, why do I see this hyphen -1? Because for this particular um, instrument, I'm not getting any logs here. I'll not get any last traded price, because for fires you don't see it. I'm only seeing for crude oil. So that is why for crude oil I'm getting details, but for others I'm not getting any details. This is the same reason why I'm getting here it is -1. So this is how you need to run. So during market time, this price will come. So here even you will see the logs for all of them, and here you will get your correct uh, last traded price. Now next thing is, if you want to run multiple strategy for same. Okay, so how do you run multiple strategy? So simply what you need to do is you need to click on this link. If you see on the right hand side, there is a option called open in external terminal. You just need to click. So it will open a terminal for you. Suppose I want to add another strategy in the same time. So I can click again. It will open another terminal for me. So if you click here, it will keep on adding new terminals. So in this first terminal, if I want to run my strategy 1, so I can write like Python src hyphen fire strategy1.py. Okay, I can run this. So here my first strategy will run. I want to run a second strategy here. So let me rename this to strategy 2. So here I want to run another strategy. So I'll say Python, then file name, where my file is. So suppose for new strategy file, what you need to do is you need to copy your strategy file and put it in the src folder. So in the src folder, suppose you have some file called fires, or I can do one thing. I'll just copy paste this. Copy paste. I'll name this to strategy file 2. Okay. So say now I have two strategy files. So fire strategy 2.py. So here my strategy 1 is running. I'll just rename it to strategy 1, and here I run strategy 2. So your strategy 2 will run here. So similarly, if you have one more strategy file, say strategy 3, so click on here, it will open new terminal, name it to strategy 3, then Python, put your strategy file, make sure your strategy file is there in that src folder. So strategy 3.py. So this is my name, for example. So this will give me no such file found, because I don't have this file in my src folder. See, I don't not have strategy 3 file. But if you have strategy 3 file, you can add it here. Okay. Another thing is, if you want to add another strategy and it will not work directly. So what you need to do is you need to add few commands. So for example, these two lines, 19, line number 20, you need to copy this to your new strategy file, and line number 23, this you need to copy. So for client ID, you have to replace with st.app_id. For access token, you have to change this. So you have to change this. I'll just mention this, 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 and this. So you have to, wherever you see this, so this lines you have to copy and paste it there. Only for this client ID and access token, you have to, after equals, you have to change these values. So I'll cover this, how to create your own strategy. That time I'll cover. But at this point of time, in case you want to uh, you have existing strategy file with you and you want to get this client ID and access tokens from my one, in the sense my repo, then you have to do these changes. You have to import settings, you have to import generate access token, then you have to initialize this, then you have to change your client ID with my app ID, or you can directly put also, that's not a problem. But since we are using this one, better to utilize my repo, so you can do this. And access token, you have to do this. Okay, so your access token for the .environment file will come here. So once you modify this, and make sure you put this folder under src. If you put it somewhere else and you try to import this, so you'll get some import errors. So just don't do that. Keep all those files under src, and then make these changes to your strategy. If you have some existing strategy, this and this. Okay, and then you can run this. So let me close them all. Once you finish, you can stop it here. So this is it for this video. Hey, thank you guys. I hope this video was helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.